Hey ho, Nigel here. So recently I've noticed a few people asking questions about how they can be notified if somebody inside Growably fills in a form. And so Growably's got a crazy deep form system in there, which you can create forms for all sorts of different things like marketing campaign opt-ins or event registration things or all sorts of different things. And one of the things that people were asking is how can they be notified when somebody goes and fills in a particular type of form. Now, typically, you're not going to want to be notified of people filling in every type of form because a lot of forms have hundreds or thousands of people going through it. All the forms that we run our marketing through have thousands and thousands of people going through them. And I certainly don't want to be notified every time someone downloads one of my books or whatever. But if it's a form that doesn't get filled in a lot and you want to be notified of it immediately so you can take some sort of action, perhaps it's a hot new lead campaign or something that you're running to warm leads, and so you want to be notified once someone fills in a form to accept something or download something or whatever it happens to be. The way you do it is you go and create your form, and that's all done inside sites in here. So you go into sites in Growably and you go into the form builder in here. So and you just go and create your form, and you'll embed that on a web page, or you can link to it directly if you're not going to embed it on a web page. The typical way would be to create a form, ask for email address and name and whatever details that you want to ask them. It might be company name or whatever. The less form fields, the better, typically in marketing, because every single form field you add adds or decreases the number of conversions you get on your page. So, but anyway, you go and create your form in here. I'm not going to get into that in here. It's very easy to create forms in here. But if you want to be notified on form submission for particular forms, go into your automation section here and go into workflows. Create a new workflow, and you're going to want to start from scratch. You don't want to use an existing template here, so start from scratch. This will start a workflow inside Growably. This one here I'm going to call notify on, let's call it first aid submission or opt-in. Let's call it. So we've got a campaign that we're about to release in the Tech Tribe called the First Aid Campaign. And one of the things that people can do in that is opt in for some information or opt in to jump on a call. So you call it whatever you want to call it. That's just for your internal benefit so that you know what this particular workflow does. Now, the very first step here is you want this workflow here to be triggered when somebody fills in a form. So click on Add New Workflow Trigger. Over here, you've got a million different things that you can trigger a workflow on, all sorts of different stuff. What we want is the form thing here. So I'll type the word form and it shows up form submitted as one of the actions. I'll click on that. I might change this to first aid, oops, I can't spell, first aid opt-in form completed, just so it shows up over here as to what it is. And I'm going to put a filter on this thing here because I don't want it to be triggered on every single form on my platform. I only want it to be triggered on one form, and that's my first aid opt-in form. And so I go down here and I choose filters and I say form is, and I go over here and say the first aid opt-in form, which is a pre-built form that we've already got in here. And I press save trigger, and you can see over here, now we've got a trigger in this workflow of first aid opt-in form completed. That text there is what I created for this particular step. I just named it that. Now, you can add any number of triggers that you want up here. If you want people to come into this workflow from all sorts of different forms or whatever reason, you can add them all up here. But for now, we're just going to add this one. Then the next step you need to do here is add an action. And when you click here, you'll see that there is, again, a bajillion different actions that you can take in here. And I'm just going to run through some of the most common ones that you would do in some sort of form opt-in notification scenario. The first one that I would do is I'd want to notify myself. That's what people are asking for is, hey, can I get an SMS or an email when somebody fills in a form? And you'll see here, it's sending email, send SMS, calls, voicemails, messages. However, all of these steps here are external communications. They're things that this workflow is going to send to your contact, not to you. And you're like in the questions that we're getting, it's the MSP wants to be notified. And so these ones here are all useless in this particular thing here. Although you probably still want to be sending an email to your client here or your prospect here saying, hey, thanks for downloading the opt-in. Here's the link to it. And you might send them an SMS saying, hey, whatever. You might set up a call or whatever for them, or you might send them a messenger message or whatever it happens to be. They're all external communication. But for you getting notified yourself of this, you just go back up the top here and type internal, and you'll find one called send internal notification. It's in one of the options. It's probably embedded in this chunk here somewhere. I always just type up the top because it's faster than, oh, there it is there. It's faster than searching through here. You can just type whatever action you're looking for up the top there. But we're going to use this send internal notification one here, and I'm going to call it send SMS to Nigel, and I'll put in here, this one here is going to be an SMS notification. And in here, I'll just do a new person filled in the first aid form. Please call them ASAP. And I'll put name equals, and in here I'll use a custom value of the contact name of the person that's filled in the form, which comes in as somebody fills in a form. So custom, I should have used full name there, but I just used first name, last name, and phone equals, and I'll just put whatever their main phone number is in here. And so now I will get an SMS. I need to obviously put in I can send it to myself or to whoever on my team, and I need to go and put in and make sure I've got a phone number attached to, like if I'm going to send it to particular user, and I'm going to choose me, for instance. I'm not in this, I'm in a test Growably account at the moment, but if I choose Alan, for instance, that would send an SMS to Alan at the moment somebody opts in the form, saying exactly that and filling in those variables with the person that opted in the form. So I can save that action there. What do I need? Custom values. It probably needs something in there. There are issues in, please fix them before saving. Yeah, it's probably because there's no details in there. I'm going to get rid of a couple of these in here for now, but I'll just, for now, I'll write, please see, or the email is, and I'll do an email one. Contact, email address. That one should save, no problems. Yeah, so that one saves no problems. So now we'll get an SMS saying, hey, go and check out this contact with this email address and give them a call. It's probably because I don't use phone or anything in here very often. Now, next, I want to send myself or people on my team a email. So I'll go in here and I'll do email entire team. I'll do this one. I'll choose email. From can be whatever. Nigel from email is nigel@thetechtribe.com. And to user here, you can either send it to a particular, like a custom email. If you've got a distribution group, you want to send it to everybody saying, hey, someone jump on and call this person immediately. We just got a new lead. You might send it to a particular person. You might send it to the assigned contact if this is an account in your system that's already got an assigned account manager. I'm just going to put in custom email here, and I'll just do Nigel at the Tech Tribe again. And new lead in first aid opt-in, or new lead in first aid campaign. And in here I will then, like in the email address here, I still want to put a custom field of email address. We often use email addresses in whenever we're doing notifications on things, because it's typically the can I spell here? No. It's typically the most what's the word, the easiest way to identify people, because it's going to be unique for every single person. Down here, new contact for, or new prospect. And then down here, you'd fill in whatever you want this email to say. Like, you can use all these custom values again, or whatever you want to do in there. I'm not going to fill it all in because it will be on this call forever. But click Save Action. So that's now going to, immediately as someone logs in, it's going to send an SMS to me. And it's going to send, or sorry, it was going to go to Alan in there because I just chose him from the list in there because I'm not in this particular Growably test account. But then it's going to email the entire team. But here, and this is the more important one, this is why I was just doing these two first. It's kind of, hey, everyone, we've got a prospect. But here's where Growably can be wildly powerful, is you can go in here and you can create a task now. Growably's got a complete task management system for teams of sales reps or teams of reps, or even you if you're just using Growably yourself to do task management around sales work, like go call this particular prospect or whatever. So in here, I could do add task, call, and again here I could probably use contact first name from contact company. I can probably put company name in here somewhere. Yeah, there you go, contact company. Please call this person, right? And I'll do an email address in there so it's very easy to identify them. Email address. Right, assign to, and I might assign this to, say we've got a first level rep that goes and does stuff. I'll assign it to the first level rep in there, and I'll do due day now, so it's going to be due in their task management system as soon as it runs. And I'll click save in here, and now I've got a task that's going to assign a task inside Growably's sales task management system or sales CRM to whatever rep that I've set it in there to remind them to go and do it. And if your rep sales team or you or whoever are using the proper task management system in here, you will have a properly assigned task that needs to be clicked completed to get it out of your box. You can't go and lose a task in your inbox because you've got 300 different messages in there. Tasks need to be completed in there if you're using the task management system properly. So that's what I would do if I was going and creating a way to be notified of somebody opting into a form. And as you can see, there is so many different other things in here that you can do. You can add the person into workflows if you've got other workflows in here that do things. You can assign them to a user. So assigning them to a user might be like your first level rep or whatever it happens to be, or you might have one of your reps or yourself automatically doing someone doing each individual campaign, for instance, if you've got a large team of reps. Typically, most MSPs don't, so you'll probably just be assigning these all to yourself or one salesperson that you got on the team automatically, but you can assign them in there. And then you can go and send all your emails to the prospect in here as well, and you might, like, this is how you typically fill in a thing on this, is you might then go in here and say, thanks for downloading, or thanks for requesting. Here's the download, right? That's email number 1, and I'm just going to make this, here's your download. And in here, I'm just going to leave these as something just to get through here. So I'm going to have an email, and that would obviously, you'd make that a link to go somewhere. Where's the link button? Here it is here. That would go somewhere, like an opt-in PDF on your site, or maybe the Cybersecurity Essentials booklet that we give everybody for free. But that would be their email that they download. And then if you're doing nurturing, which you absolutely should be doing in your campaigns, you could then go, okay, well, I now not want to wait 2 days, 3 days, 1 day, whatever it happens to be, and then I'm going to send them the next email in the sequence. So I'm going to do wait for 2 days. So now it's wait. I might change the name of that so I can easily see it. And then I might go, okay, time to send them a second email, and I'll do whatever the second email is in here. Second email. Then you might go, okay, well, I want to also check in with, if I didn't get through to them on the first day, I want to check in with them on day 3 or day 5 to make sure that they actually got the thing. So then I would go and assign another task to myself, or to like add a task to whoever it is on the team or whatever to go and do that particular thing. And so that's how I would be setting up notifications, using all the leveraging all the functionality in here that is kind of integrated all the way through the Growably platform, and it makes it wildly powerful for you to be able to go and do all sorts of different amazing things for prospects as they start to come into your world, and all sorts of different scenarios as things come into your world. So hopefully that helps. One other quick thing that you want to make sure you do in here is in the settings tab of this particular thing here, by default, a contact can only go in in a workflow once. If you, for some reason, say perhaps you're filling out this form because it's a form where an existing client is giving you some data each quarter around your technology business reviews, or they're sending you some information about technology business reviews, and it's a little form that they have to fill out every single quarter or something like that. You want to make sure that you tick this box here on so that the contact can go into this workflow multiple times. Typically with marketing stuff, you'll leave it turned off because you don't want the person receiving all those nurture emails like 7 times if they accidentally opted into the thing 7 times, which does happen a lot. You'd be surprised how often that happens. But just keep an eye out for stuff like that in there. You can also do things like stop on response. Like if a contact responds to a message that came from this workflow, like if they hit reply to one of the emails that you go and send out and say, yeah, I'm interested, let's have a chat, you can set it so that this workflow then stops sending them all the rest of the nurture emails in that particular sequence. But anyway, that's it. Just make sure you go and change it to publish as you go and launch it live. But that's how you would go and set up a very, very, very basic, easy notification system for people that are opting into or filling in forms on Growably for you. Hope that helps. Bye for now.